Okay, let's talk about some mental health. Put it into a telephone pole at 70 because I was making $14 an hour trying to struggle my way through. Companies buying a brand new saw, coming in single. This was before bars closed, but realistically for the area, there's really not a lot going on. I can't get out of the stone mill, trash, muddy every single night. Know the area, know all the rabbit kelp, know all the system. Eventually, you're gonna start keying off on depressions, gravity wells, system singularities. That's basically what the track becomes out here because it's sexual fundamental failure. You have to do well, otherwise you're gonna get a bad reputation, and it makes breeding, getting money, increases in raises because it's not just a man-woman thing. It's a clairvoyancy thing. You got this on here. If you would have one on, you're pretty much in a tomb, or at least you should be, based on the numbers of math and how you would react in a situation if they tried the pretty stuff on you, right? Because it's psychological. It's an incident report. It's a neutrino on how the room just changed in indexes or functions that you have to be observant on, and it's gonna be very manic. All those things are schizophrenic in terms of the marshmallow. This incident right now, how it plays off, when not to undermine her, but to say this is what. Well, dealing with all the psychology, you understand what was left on the table for the study now, and it can be a marshmallow incident report. It can be like being out there with a wild animal and still saying all this information that I did still may not hold up to what is necessary for the design of the conversation, and that can be a lot of friction. It can be a lot to handle when you're trying to compute what those numbers need to be for the STEM games, the Rhodes conjecture on manic, the abruptly long sequence of situations that could represent that, or the bipolar natures of those situations. Any schizophrenic person that might be in that position, 0 or 1, or where that then separates into the index. Now, sociopath and psychopath really aren't that far apart from normal functionable systems when you understand the dynamic can be social at times, or socialist. Very dynamic to that idea, but again, the field theory equation is everybody's class, all the satellites, time dilation on the top of the mountain, at the bottom of the ocean, and how pressures and situations need to be recognized under their irrational value and then recognized in a stable way in that form over reciprocals. Like, it is definitely that. It's not changing to those things. The misunderstanding of those things could make a lot of pressure and situation in the time you have to function that system inside of there and understand what your standard model was, so that way you can actually form a way or a timeline to then function those systems, or where to reciprocate change values away from that standard function. Generally, I start with the 888 just as a general rule, but it starts with the work line, whatever your day rotation is. Obviously, you're not great for the market. It's good to have security, something coming in, and a product being made. And a lot of these products, it's hard because a lot of it's based on food and water and a bunch of stuff that we use for luxury off of the inflation of that idea. So inherently, all of us, that's why she's going to feel that pressure and anxiety of fear and systems inside of the situation. But equally, I'd have to say, could the reporter asking the question to this person handle the psychological parameters without feeling that way from a psychologist that is administering that test? It's something you have to consider.